All right. Was good. Peace. Peter Brown, Ledge Group, LLC CEO. Y'all know me. Greetings. Health and wellness on your house, vitality and longevity in your life. So, you hear my introduction. I ain't got no, I ain't got no superhero name. I ain't got no, I ain't, I don't have, a name that is catchy or it sounds real African. It's Peter Brown. That's my name. That's my mother named me. uh, and so I also don't debate, and I don't. I'm not into the pomp and circumstance. I'm not. I don't go on lectures, and I don't sell books, and I don't do those things, right? I don't follow those traditional methods that people are using this new consciousness in order to feed themselves, right? And I also I'm not knocking anyone that's writing the books and they're doing these tours and they're charging you to come hear them speak. I'm not knocking it. Everybody got to have a hustle, right? Right? And let's call that what it is. It's a hustle, right? Um, because at the end of the day, if there ever was a permanent solution, the majority of them would be out of work, right? If they gave you the solution, why would you need them, right? And so nobody will. And we perpetuate a problem and we live through it and we see people reinvent the wheel and do the same things and we see this go on and on and on. Um, and the very thing that traps us is the fact that no one is willing to actually step outside of the paradigm and, in fact, give the solution. The answer is to look at what you have and give that freely. Find a way to give that to your people. Have an impact. Watch that impact grow. Let them look back and say, wow, look at that. Look what he did. So if he did that, then I could do this and we can do that, right? So the real key is to step out of the paradigm that they're trapped in while they're doing their book sales and while they're doing their book tours and while they got their doctorates and they're telling you about the best economic plans in the world and everything that we should do and all of these illustrious teachers and speakers and all like that. And so sometimes it makes me feel like, okay, so what my people need me to do is you need me to go debate them, right? You need me to get into a public forum and have a debate, right? And call these people out by name, right? And call their platforms out by name and speak to the faulty nature of their platforms. Right? I think in many instances that's what it's like my people need. You need entertainment, right? You need me to have lights going and entertainment, right? And clowns dancing behind me, right? So that you then can listen to, this one or that one and listen to their ideas, beside each other. And from there, make a decision. I don't know. I don't know if that's what's needed. It's a game show in order for people to really think this through. But I encourage you to share with your leaders this specific presentation. I encourage you to share it. Again, I'm not knocking anybody, right? I'm not knocking anybody. What I'm saying is we've been here a long time, and there comes a point where we need to be very clear in what we are doing, right? We don't continue to reinvent the wheel. I love my brothers and sisters and each and every single one of you that is working and placing effort into doing different things. I love you. I appreciate you. Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry just purchased a Confederate Army base and he's going to turn that into some sort of housing. I believe he's a very smart man. He's probably going to turn it into housing, and he's looking to do the very best thing that he can for the people, for the community. But let's be honest, okay? And again, man, I'm not Tyler. Yo, I can't do that. I got a job. I ain't buying housing projects, right? So I ain't knocking my brother. I am not at all. What I'm saying is, let's look at the 10,000-foot view, because what he has done is, if we build housing and we have spigots with ice cream and lemon drops and lollipops that fall from the sky, guess what? 100% of those people will still be paying taxes. 100% of those people, their children and their children's children, will be going to their children and their children's children for a job. It does not change the dynamic. We stay transgenerational renters. So while it seems like a real good move, it seems like a positive thing, and it is. Again, I'm not taking anything from it. What I am saying is, in the long term, does it do anything to address the fact that your children are subservient to their children, and nothing is going to change that? As long as every single one of us, as long as every single one of our children, as long as every single person that we know, if we earn a dollar, trade a dollar, exchange a dollar, 30 cents happens every time we flip that. They take that right off the top. Right off the top. They take that from us. And so you're sitting at a casino where the house printed the money. And you're betting with the house using the money that they printed. You cannot win. I'm not knocking Tyler Perry. Brother, I love you. I thank you. I appreciate your work. You feel me? But that doesn't solve the problem, does it? Tyler Perry gets notoriety, right? People get to know who he is. They get to say, great dude, right? Yeah. But that doesn't solve the problem. In fact, what it did was it made an attractive plantation house that would further obscure for the people their own enslavement, right? Right now, the people don't know that they're slaves. They don't know it. They think they're free. Because Martin said, free at last, thank God Almighty, we're free at last. But he was speaking about a future condition. He was talking about being able to say that someday. He wasn't saying it. You know, and so, again, we got misdirected there. And so, again, here they come with the civil rights, right? And so the civil rights allow them to say, this one deserves rights, and that one deserves rights, and we all deserve rights. And if you should ever step up and say, well, wait a minute now, wait a minute, my rights are more important than this one or that one or the other one. Everybody will say, well, no, that's wrong. You're just very wrong right now, right? Your rights ain't more important than this or this or the other. So we allowed everything to get distilled down into rights, and we forgot about the freedom aspect. And so, again, I'm gonna swing back around to some of the solutions that we see out here, most commonly presented, and the things that people are doing, right? And again, I'm not gonna do the debate circuit. You might want to see some entertainment. You might want to see me in a peacock strut with my brothers, right? With the illustrious doctors and teachers and authors. You might want to see that. You might want to see the peacock strut. I won't do it because it's not me against them. It's not. This isn't ideology against ideology. This is POWs trying to get free. I'm not going to do the debate. I'm not going to do that. I won't. I'm going to present the information. I'm going to present it as if I'm speaking to adults. I'm going to present it as clearly as I possibly can, and I'm going to ask you to make the intelligent decision for yourself and for us, right? So there's one brother, and again, I applaud my brother. He's opened up a school, or he's working on a school. I've seen some video of him working and cleaning up, and people donating their time, and people in the community energized and excited and pitching in and doing what they can to open up the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey School. And I applaud Brother Umar for that work. That's fantastic. There's been obvious challenges, both internal and external. You counted on them. You knew it was going to come. This is our people, right? So you counted on it, and you pushed through. That is the only thing that matters. You pushed through, and you're there. I applaud you. I applaud that effort. My question, and again, it's not even a question because it's rhetorical. You know, I know, everybody listening know. Marcus Garvey said, any leader that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. And so when we talk about building facilities of education in America, does that solve our problem? Right? Is our problem education or lack thereof? Is our problem financial literacy or lack thereof? Sitting in a casino where they print the money and control the interest rate. Is it? Right? We should become more savvy in the rigged game that they've created. That's the... Is our problem a lack of spirituality or religion? Right? Is our problem a lack of political savvy? Right? What is our problem? And this is the problem, is that we don't define these things. And as long as we don't have a clear definition, then everybody's going to jump up and they're going to say, yeah, we need education. Well, no, that doesn't solve your problem. Right? No, we need affordable housing. If you don't define your problem, everything somebody says sounds like a viable answer. But is it an answer? Is it an answer? Right? And so, again, build an educational facility here in America. Right? Yeah, well, the very first thing that happened, I'll go back and then forward. The very first thing, the first indicator from Malcolm when they turned off that water, when they rushed him here in Boston. When they rushed him, the first indicator was that something was wrong, was that his water got turned off. He turned off the water first. In Philadelphia, when they dropped a bomb on my brothers and sisters, the first engagement method was turning off the water. They turned off the water. And when they did that, they called social services. Social services went in and said that the place was uninhabitable. So they were trying to kidnap their children legally. Right? So that was the first engagement. That was the first encroachment from them, was they turned off the water. So the question becomes, as it relates to a school as a solution for us going forward, why do we assume that our enemy is going to continue to feed, clothe, house, provide services and utilities while we educate ourselves to the point where we can take him over? Does that make sense? Does anybody believe that's going to happen? So if you're taking for granted the fact that your historic enemy is going to continue feeding you, providing you water, providing you clothing, providing you shelter, providing you health care, providing you sanitation services, if your plan counts on them carrying you tomorrow and beyond, then you don't have a plan. I don't care if it's powernomics. I don't care if it's a school. I don't care if it's anything. If your plan is counting on your enemy to carry your life, your loved ones' lives, and everyone that you know into tomorrow until you can become educated enough to, overthrow his kingdom. This isn't fucking fairy tales, man. I'm sorry, but this isn't a fairy tale, man. We have to think things through. We have to use critical thought and stop acting like we're children. We're mature adults that should be able to string together a plan, define the elements, define the inhibitors, and move towards the plan. All this bullshit, all these dreams that everybody's selling you, they got you listening to, that cannot work. They cannot solve the problem. They can't. The problem with the conversation as it relates to reparations. Again, if they give you money, 60% of the money that they give you, you will give back for food, clothing, shelter, water, healthcare, security, sanitation, heat, and cooling services. You will give 60% back over the next 20 years. Your children will, over their lifetimes, give back more. Don't you understand? This is how the slavery works. So I can give it to you. It's cool, because you're going to give it back. And guess what? Your babies into 1,000 years are still going to be going to their babies looking for jobs. So what is the solution? Huh? Can you take land? What? Yeah, I know. And again, I don't mean disrespect, man. It just gets to a head. It gets to a place where I'm like, how is it that that nobody speaks the truth? How is it that nobody speaks the truth? Right? Somebody said take 5 states. If you build your house, can anybody point to a signpost, fence post, a lamp post built by Africans that's standing in the United States of America over the last 300 years, 400 years, 500 years? Anyone point to anything? A store? A warehouse? A fence post, signpost, a lamp post? Point to one thing standing. But you're going to continue to do the same thing and expect different results? That's called insanity. That's called insanity. So you want to take 5 states in the United States of America, sitting right in the middle of 100 million enemies, so that your project, your existence, is based upon the good graces of your enemies. Are you fucking retarded? Are you? I'm sorry. Again, I don't mean to get excited, but I really need you to think this through. I really need you to think this through. To romanticize, we'll go to war and we'll fight for this. Yeah, maybe you will. But nobody has ever entered into a fight that at some point did not consider the possibility of winning. If you should fight and if you should win, what does the win look like at the other end of the fight? What's left for your babies? What's left for the women? How do they live? What is the quality of life? See, for if you fight and you're dependent upon your enemy to provide you ammunition for you to wake up and fight again tomorrow, then you've got a short-lived engagement. If your fight requires that your enemy is providing for you water, food, services during the engagement, then your fight is short-lived. So we use these romantic terms and say, we'll fight. We'll fight and we'll die. Yes, you will fight and you die, and you will be extinct. You will disappear from this planet Earth. You have nothing, and you're dealing with the greatest military might in the history of warfare. And you're going to fight, waiting on ammunition from them. We must stop with the fantasy. We must stop with the romanticized bullshit that doesn't say anything. None of these leaders have given you a solution. None of them are a permanent solution. Each of them will have your babies begging for a job for 1,000 years into the future. There's one answer. There is one answer. We link with everyone on the earth. We link with Africans, each and every one of us. Alone, we're being picked off. But we got what they need. They got what we need. If we put these things together in a comprehensive and well thought out, far-reaching plan, as soon as that happens, as soon as we galvanize in the smallest form, absolutely everything on the planet changes. I'm telling you, everything on the planet changes. We ain't got to ask nobody. We're not looking for rights. I'm not looking for rights. They again, completely misdirect you. You listen to the conversations that they're having throughout the world right now. And what they're talking about is rights. And guess what? They're correct. The 5-ass monkeys' rights are just as important as your rights. There's no difference. right? They've distilled the conversation to a place where we're all in a melting pot of rights, right? Everybody's rights are the same. What they have glossed over is that we are here as a result of human trafficking. See, they're fighting for rights amongst their friends and family. I'm fighting for freedom amongst enemies. There's a difference. There's a difference. They're fighting amongst their loved ones for the right. You see, right? They're fighting for rights. Harriet Tubman didn't fight for rights. Marcus Garvey wasn't looking for rights. Malcolm X wasn't looking for rights. The Panthers in the 10-point program didn't speak about rights. Huh? We spoke about freedom. We are the innocent offspring from people that were stolen here, or we are native. My mother's side is native here, 50,000 years on this continent. My father's side was brought here in chains. So either we are here by way of human trafficking, or we were already here. But either way, equality is not the goal. Rights are not the goal. That's what they've distilled so they could usurp whatever it was that they did for you, right? That's what they did, right? That's how they did the Dawes rolls and the $5 Indians. This is how they did that. They always put a back door so that they could usurp whatever it was that they did for you. Well, that back door was called rights, civil rights. You see? So now they got you. Listen to my people. Listen to yourselves. Listen to yourselves. You will hear our people talking about they're here to fight white supremacy and fight racism. How can you measure a win in that regard? If your goal is to fight racism, how do you measure a win? The only litmus by which you could measure a win would be a change in the behavior in them. So a win in relation to your fighting racism or white supremacy equals the humanity or the morality that you can make someone else demonstrate. How much time you gonna sit there like Bag of Vance hoping that they just treat you better? Huh? How long you gonna stay in there spending your energy, your life, trying to humanize somebody else? That shit don't make no sense. No. If you're spending your life to fight white supremacy or racism, you got it real fucked up. They've misdirected you because it's a bucket that you will never, ever be able to win. It is a waste of energy. You can't fight that. That's in them. They gotta fight that. You spending energy in an area that is impossible to win. It is a no-sum game. Okay? You can't fight white supremacy and racism. That is a cancer that they gotta fight, or not. What you have to do is ensure that tomorrow you're not dependent on them. Period. Why they beat your ass when they stop you for the police? Because they can. I mean, this shit is real easy. This is real easy. Why do they? Because you don't take your security in your own hands. So they can beat your ass and say, hey, what will do? Shit. Right? Why can they do these things? Because they can. Because they can. They can shut your water off anytime and starve you out. Your little fight is over. Right? They can stop delivering food to your community at any time. Your fight's done. Right? So what do you need to do? What do we need to do as a people? What do your leaders need to be saying to you Sunday when you go to church? When you go listen to my man? Look, when you go listen to all of your leaders, say these things. What about survival into tomorrow? Start simple. Don't tell me about education. Tell me about how we're going to eat tomorrow. If Katrina hits, how many of us perish sitting on a roof with an American flag, trying to express to our historical enemy that we are them? that we are them. You know, in order to build this economy, every single 11-year-old girl was bred to produce a workforce, and she was bred until she could no longer reproduce. And this happened to 100% of the 11-year-old girls for centuries, to produce a workforce that would produce an economy strong enough to allow every poor, tired, huddled mass with nothing but the shirts on their backs to come here and find an accommodation. Those babies were raped and bred in order to build an economy that could accommodate the poor, tired, huddled masses that came with nothing on their backs, and they still don't look at you as human. So do you think a storm is going to come? It's going to garner so much pity that they're going to save you, me, 48 million of us? Is that how we're going to live? Is that okay? Right? Next week is their Independence Day. Right? What's that? Less than 10 days away, right? 10 days away. Are you comfortable living into the next 10 days without the basic control of your own food, clothing, shelter, water, healthcare, security, and sanitation? Are you comfortable living into tomorrow on the good graces of your enemy? This is why a school is not a solution, brother. This is why the doctors and those things that they're speaking and talking about, and wealth and Black Wall Street and buying the Confederate Army barracks. This is why these things cannot work. They do not stop you from being a transgenerational renter in somebody else's hell. Do you understand? There is one solution. Build your own reality. We sit in a strong economy, and we can take those dollars from a strong economy, place them reliably into a weaker economy, and build a reality right now that we will need into the future. Again, Harriet Tubman's work was not completed. Marcus Garvey's work was not completed. We sat down and we accepted rights and equality. And so now the majority of my people are stuck in a position where if I were to list the elements required for freedom, see, freedom is going to require more than 40 hours per week. Freedom requires a lifestyle, right? I know it's so foreign, but freedom is a lifestyle. It's more than 40 hours a week. And if I were to put down on a piece of paper those things that would be required of you on a daily, weekly basis in order to have and maintain your freedom, the majority of you would say, no, thank you, slavery, please. And, I was talking with my brother, and he said, anybody that says that is a sellout, right? You're gonna live your own life, and I'm not gonna judge you. I'm gonna let you judge yourself. I'm gonna let you call that what you call it. That's not for me to say. What I will say is that if you have a glimpse into what it will cost to be free, and you have an example and demonstration of what your servitude has cost, and you choose the servitude out of convenience, then don't complain. That is your master. You're choosing a master. So, and this is not, this is a passive choice. This is what makes it so difficult, because the choice is passive. Tomorrow, you will not wake up. Tomorrow, on 6/28/2019, you will not wake up and say, hey, okay, I choose a master today. You won't. But the fact is, a passive choice has been made, because you can't live, you can't exist absent this system. Absent the food, clothing, shelter, water, healthcare, security, you can't live, right? You got $1 billion in the bank. Power goes out. What's your money worth? Right? Can you get to an ATM and get it? Can you use it? The fact that you got it, does that mean anything? Right? Now the store is out of water in 2 days. The stores are out of food in 2 days. What is your money worth? What is that money worth? Nothing. Now your family is counting on you, but you've been counting on money. Man, come on, man. Come on. You count on money. And your family's counting on you. I'm saying it's time to get critical in our analysis, in our planning, in our thought, in our execution. It is time to get very serious and mature in our conversations and in our direction and focus. Again, I'm going to apologize. I didn't mean to get all excited, and I think I did a couple of times. I didn't mean to. I'm going to let this go out. I'm going to put this up, and I'm going to let the world see it. I didn't mean to get excited. Again, I do not disrespect any of the leaders. Dr. Anderson, I'm not disrespecting you. Dr. Watkins, no disrespect. Dr. Umar, no disrespect. I'm talking about a permanent solution, brother Minister Farrakhan. No disrespect. I'm talking about a permanent solution, and neither of you have. All of you are talking about stopgap measures. You're not directing the people where you should. You know, just like I know, that nothing can be added or taken away from what I just said. Food, clothing, shelter, water, healthcare, security, sanitation. And if we don't control those for tomorrow, then we are slaves. Period. Talk all you want about money and education. Everything that there is no conversation. There is no debate. Right? These are primal facts. They were facts 3 million years ago for every human that lived on this earth, and they will be facts 3 million years into the future. So we have one thing to solve. It's called freedom. And we've got our people fractured as if these are different and disparate things that we're talking about. No, they are all combined in one thing, and the umbrella that covers them all is called freedom. Freedom comes by way of controlling and producing for yourself. Freedom comes from food, clothing, shelter, water, healthcare, security, and sanitation. That is freedom. So again, I beg you, my brothers, my illustrious doctors, the authors, the teachers, the speakers, right? I beg you, change the narrative. Change the narrative. Jump over the bullshit. Tell the people the truth. Tell them what needs to be said. Tell them what a permanent solution looks like. Tell them the truth, right? You've got wide audiences of people that are listening to you. I beg you, Tyler Perry, I beg you, hear the words that I'm saying to you. It is not a permanent solution, and everybody that lives in those dwellings that you put there are going to pay taxes, and they're going to have their blood sucked, and their children's and their children's children will all be subservient to somebody else, and that is not what I want for my children. That is not what I want for my babies. Is that what you want for yours? That they will forever be subservient to somebody else. Forever. This is not appropriate. So I beg you, man. I beg all of you. Pay attention. Understand what the critical forward path is, right? And then reach out. You see it. My name is Peter Brown. My email address, pbrown@theledgegroup.com. THELEDGE group, GROUP.com. Reach out. I'm absolutely anxious to have a conversation. I do not debate. I said that. It ain't no, the primary principle associated with the Ledge Group is Ubuntu. I am because we are. We go together. This is not about one individual part being more relevant than another. This is each and every one of us forming a body. This is the sum total of our parts coming together and creating an indomitable force. That's what this is about. This is about us aligning along not ideology. So you ain't got to be like me, right? I'm not asking you what your religion is. I don't care. I'm not interested in any of those things. What I mentioned was primal. The reason that I can say this with such confidence is because no matter who the hell you are, it is primal. What keeps you alive? What are the things that you need to survive? Now, who is providing them to you? Whoever is providing them to you is your master. Period. It doesn't taste good, does it? It doesn't feel good, does it? No, it doesn't. Solve that. And if you're not talking about that, then you a punk, man. For real. If you're not really jumping over all that bullshit to get to the real, you punk. That I'm gonna keep it crispy, man. For real. All right. Let's keep it 100. Let's cut to the chase. Let's determine what the appropriate forward action is, and let's build the solution, please, in tandem. All right. Again, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call y'all punks. let's please quiet all the bullshit, man. For real, jump over the bullshit and let's solve this problem for ourselves, one time. All right. Peace.